Everyone wants the outcome, but no one wants the journey. Everybody wants success, but nobody wants the struggle that comes with it. Everybody wants the beautiful woman, but nobody wants the baggage that she carries. Everybody wants the nice cars, but they don't understand that they don't always work as planned. When you have unrealistic expectations and you're only goal-oriented, 9 times out of 10, you will either be disappointed or fail and give up in the process. That's not an insult. That's not meant to prevent you from doing what you want to do. It's simply meant to keep you in a realistic mindset. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the end goal. It's about the process and the micro steps that you must take to reach that goal.
And speaking of the micro steps, Jose, the micro steps are what make you worthy of obtaining that end goal in the first place. Because when you think about it, right? If most people, and I've talked about this before, if you were given something today that you've been longing and lusting for, you probably wouldn't be able to handle it. So let's think about that right now, right? You could have the girl of your dreams right now, but are you confident in yourself enough as a man or a woman to be able to deal with the person of your dreams currently? Because if they are probably going to be looking good, they're probably going to be fine, you know, maybe got the hips, got whatever you're looking for, right? That means that's going to drive more attention her way or his way. And are you willing and ready to deal with that? Is your confidence built enough in order to deal with that? Probably not, because everybody wants the bad, you know what I'm saying, until you get one. And if you don't know how to handle one or handle a relationship with a bad, you know what I'm saying, it's not going to last long because you're not confident enough in yourself to be able to handle the looks, the stares, the comments that she may get, you know? And then also, again, you were talked about cars. If you got a Lamborghini today, out of nowhere, okay, and you're driving it around, then after about a day or two, you have to fill up the tank again. Wow. And it costs you hundreds of dollars. Wow. And on the way to the gas pump, you end up catching a fucking flat or scratching the car somehow. And you know how much that's going to cost? Oh, it's not going to cost like a couple, maybe some hundreds or $1,000 or something like that, like your average Honda would when you have a scratch. No, it's going to cost you probably $5,000 to $10,000 just because it's like a scratch, but it's a Lamborghini, right? So when you're thinking about the things that you want, if you don't build your way up to be able to earn those things and be worthy of those things, if you got them today, you wouldn't know what to do with them and you wouldn't be able to handle those things. So the importance of the journey is the fact that it gives you the time that you need to build yourself up into the person that's worthy and that can handle those things. You don't go to the gym and start automatically fucking benching 350. You work your way up to 350. And then once you're able to bench 350, it's not because you just randomly got the fucking strength to do so. No, it's because you took those micro steps and you built yourself up to the person who could lift that much weight and who could carry that much weight. And when you're going through life and when you're looking for things in life, it follows the same kind of preface. You have to build yourself up in order to be worthy of those things. And if you don't have them yet, then to me, that basically is telling me that you're just not worthy yet. However, you can get there. It just takes work. You have to love the process. You have to love the journey. And then when you do that, keep your head down, stay focused, you get that outcome.
And on a side little tangent here, a lot of people, including myself, may be mistaken on what it means to love the journey. Because, and we had this conversation off mic the other day, love isn't some type of foo-foo, fluffy feeling on the inside of your stomach where you have butterflies in your stomach and you just always want to be around a person or doing a thing. It's love is actually alive and it requires you to put in effort. So loving the process doesn't mean you're always looking forward to it. It doesn't mean you're always getting the most out of it. It doesn't mean you're waking up every single day thrilled to do it. It just means that you have a passion for it and you have the consistent drive and the discipline that you need to keep committed to the process, because love is, to a degree, a committed feeling.
Right.
And so when we say you need to love the process, what we mean is work tirelessly at your goals. work tirelessly in the small things, and do the most minute and atomic habits, shout out to James Clear, as if you had nothing else to do in the world. It's like Mike Tyson says, discipline is doing what you hate to do like you love it.
Exactly. And throughout the journey, I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably going to be a lot of hard, difficult, tumultuous times more than it is fun times. Because when you're thinking about, say, an Olympic athlete who's a swimmer, their head is going to be underwater most of the time throughout the race. They have the brief couple seconds here and there where they can see something out of the corner of their eye, but their heads are more often than not in the water, in the struggle, in the fight. So when you're dealing with the road bumps and things that may occur on the journey, it's going to be tough. However, those calluses that you build up throughout the journey and the process of the journey are what make you hard enough to be able to contend with the difficult climates of the area that you will be in when you achieve the certain successes that you're in. Because as you go up, the climate only harshens as well. So as you go up that mountain of success, the things that you encounter, the amount that you're able to breathe, the animals or the dangers that you may encounter when you're up there only increase. It doesn't get easier. So you have to think about the journey like that, just hardening you for those times that you're about to, face as well. So falling in love with the process, again, is not going to be easy, but it's like a good marriage. And of course, I'm not married. However, I feel like both of our parents, we've seen them be married for decades plus. So in that case, we can both attest to the fact that it wasn't a easy pathway the whole time, especially when it comes to factoring in kids in it as well. Bills, health problems, things of that nature makes things more complicated. However, they still were there for each other throughout those tough times. And no matter how they may have felt in the moment, their love was greater than their feeling in the moment. Feeling to me is fleeting. However, love, like you said, is something that you continuously work on, and it's almost a job. It's not something that you just have a feeling for and it just stays forever. No. When you love a person, whether you feel like it or not, you're going to be there for them and do things for them. You have to love the process just like that as well. When you're going through the journey, when you're going through the process, whether you feel like it or not, you said that you love to do this thing. You said that you loved to be able to create whatever you're creating, or you wanted to build this business. You said that you love this product that you're making, right? No matter if you feel like it or not, you have to stay committed because that's what you said, because you love this, right? You have to be very careful with the words that you use, because your words carry weight and hold weight and are very powerful. And if you love something, you have to stay committed, because whenever you put a lot of love into something, more often than not, of course, not all the time, but more often than not, when you nurture this thing, when you love this thing, when you're there, whether you feel like it or not, it may take a while, but you will more often not get the fruits of that labor in the long run. A business, the journey that you're on and whatever that you're doing works the same way. Sometimes things may not love you back. I understand. However, when you put the love into the right thing, you foster those relationships and you foster the business and you keep your head down and you do the work and you stay committed to the thing that you said that you wanted to do, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to be built up a lot. And again, those fruits of your labor shall be there at the end of that race, at the end of that journey, and at the end of the process.
And you got to remember one thing, and that's if something is difficult, less people are willing to do it.
Right.
And you need to take heart and thrive in the idea that you will accomplish things that other people will not, because of the simple matter that you are doing the things that they are unwilling to do. And one of the things that I believe is most important when saying this statement is that this is a choice. It's not a consequence of your circumstances. It's not a consequence of your race, of your upbringing, of your age, or what have you, within reason. Most of these things are within your control. Now, take that as you will. But remember one thing. It's always a competition, whether you view it as such or not. We're always competing for limited resources, not unlimited resources. Things like cryptocurrencies, depending on the currency, are, for example, unlimited currencies, but you have things such as gold and silver, which are finite and limited currencies. And those are the things that we are competing for, whether it's attention, whether it's money, whether it's class, whether it's status, whether it's women, whether it's apartment spaces, whether it's house lots, whether it's clients. We're all competing for the same resources. And when you realize that, it's going to really drive you and move you forward, because you're going to see that everybody wants the same thing, but is everybody willing to take the actions and suffer and bleed and cry and get their heart broken and lose all their money, tarnish their own reputation, and then come back from all that and achieve a ridiculous outcome that was even more than what you wished for and everything that you prayed for?
That's a good point. And I'm trying to think about, so the journey, if I'm being honest with you about the journey that we've encountered so far, I think it is also very important, because we were talking about more so the things that you can encounter, the negatives per se that you might encounter, and the things that you're going to have to put up with along this journey. However, every now and again, when you're going through these tough times, when you're on that road and it feels like you're never going to get any reprieve, you see a gas station. It's not a mirage. It's not a facade. It's there. You can stop, collect yourself, freshen up, and recharge. And every now and again, just like what we've been able to do tonight and some other nights recently, you have those opportunities to be able to relish in the fact of, you know, your triumphs and what you've been able to achieve and accomplish as well. And to me, those gas stations, just like how it works for a car, that is what keeps you going until the next stop. Whenever you have the opportunity to stop at a gas station and you need to recharge, take that brief amount of time to recharge and reflect on the path and the road that you just traveled and how you were able to make it, and the skills and the things that you took into account that were able to benefit you to get to the gas station and get to that next stop in the first place. When you're able to do that, it allows you to have a little bit more of positivity flowing through you as opposed to negativity and pessimism. And that slight positivity, even though it might be very, very slight, and when you're in this, tough kind of road and journey, the slightest amount of positivity and the slightest amount of good feedback sometimes can be what carries you to the next stop. So take that moment, take whatever happened to you that was good, whatever positive that you encountered, use it, store it, reflect on it, see what you did, see what you can improve on, and then use that energy and use what you have learned from that moment and take it to you, or take it with you to the next stop. And the next stop might be far. It might be in the distant future and you can't see it. However, keep going and trust that there is a gas station, there is a recharge point, there is a station up in the future, up in the distant fucking, wherever the fuck that you will be able to get to and say, hey, wow, I needed that. I needed this break. I needed to recharge, and I came a long way. I came all the way from living over there, and now I'm here. I came all the way from not making any money, now I'm making some money. I came all the way from being out of shape to being in shape. Wow, okay, I can do this because I've shown and proved to myself that I can go the distance before. What stopped me from doing it again? It might be a little bit more difficult, but I can do it. So take those times on the pathway to success, on the road to success. Stop at those gas stations, recharge, refuel, and then keep going.
That was a quick transition. I was like, I'm going to think about something in between.
Shit.
Expectation meets reality. You never see what other people have seen because you don't have their perspective. You also never live exactly what other people live because you cannot walk in their shoes and you cannot jump in their skin, and you also don't have the same brain that they do. You don't have the same wiring, no matter how similar you might be. All of this means that don't look down on other people for their experiences or for their lack of experience. If you're doing so in a competitive standard, try to limit yourself and bring yourself into reason. I do think there is a place and a time where you sort of are a little hateful and you use that as motivation to push yourself forward. But in the time that you spend arguing and debating other people's rise to where they are, you're wasting your energy and your effort towards something that you could be working towards on a day-to-day basis. All of that energy, all that bandwidth, all that time, all that strategy slowly will be sapped out of you by simply hating on somebody else and focusing on what they're doing instead of focusing on what you need to be doing. And I also say this to remind you that a real, true professional is going to make things look easy. When Kobe was playing, that shit looks effortless. When LeBron is running up or down the court on a fast break, you know, LeBron can cover the fucking court in 3-4 dribbles and then fucking yam it on somebody. That shit looks easy, but when you try to do that shit, yeah, nah, a lot
rim
more.
check,
Yeah, rim check, a lot more dribbling. They took your cookies and shit. You know, it's not as easy as professionals make it look. And so you look at them and you say, well, man, they had it easy. They're talented. They're gifted. They have the height. They have the acumen. They have the network. They had the money. They had the upbringing. But it has nothing to do with that, because even with those things, it was not easy for them, within reason. All of this is to say, you need to be realistic, and you need to understand that nothing's going to happen today, nothing's going to happen tomorrow, nothing may happen in a year, nothing may happen in 5. It may happen in 10, it may happen in 15. Every single day may be an absolutely bloody, gruesome, painful, and just excruciating experience where you cannot see the light. You don't know when it's going to end. You have no clue if you're making the right decisions. You don't know if you're headed in the right direction. You don't know where you're going to get your next meal from. You don't know where you're going to sleep. It could be a variety of things. Your girlfriend left you because you're not focusing on her. Oh, I want to be the center of attention. Well, hey, bitch, I got money to make. I got shit to do. If you don't see the vision, then fuck off. Kick rocks barefoot like a Flintstone. Just do what you have to do, day in and day out. It's not that hard. It's just work. And not everybody wants to do it.
But the ones who do are the ones who get the gold.
And we take a doo-doo on your lame asses. The AM podcast.
Taking doo-doos on people.
Mic check. The AM Club podcast.